morning, walking fans. Just a quick introduction to today's activity, which is the big one. We're doing the most severe part of the southwest coast path today. From here, Hartland Quay, about 14 miles to go, down to Bude by the golf course, the golf links, and 10 valleys to cross. Well, we're just coming up the other side of what must be Valley 1. So when we get to the top of this sucker, apparently 9 more to do. And I can see the next one in front of us, which is somewhat daunting. Plenty more of this to enjoy and challenge during this marvellous day on the southwest coast path. What could be better? And it's not raining. Well, Valley 1 done. And as soon as you get to the top, straight over the watershed, the high point, separating the two valleys, and we're into Valley 2. And this looks monumental and gorgeous. Just gone at 9:30, 25 to 10. Glass is completely fogged up, but marvellous view apparently. Just to make Andy out, heading down towards that sort of bare rump of a hill in front of us. That's Milford Common. We're about 4 and a bit miles into our 14 miler, dropping down into valley number 3, which I thought was Welcome Mouth. But I'm not entirely sure it is, because the last signpost said it was 3/4 of a mile away, and down there it doesn't feel like 3/4 of a mile, but it's got a car park, bit of a beach, and it definitely, by my count, is Valley 3 of the 10 we've got to do on today's adventure. I might make a comment or two on the ascent phase as we go up the other side. We can see our American friends. Her high-vis jacket stands out very clearly. And about halfway up the other side of this lovely looking valley with a few little wood cabins, probably about 10 million quid each. And this charming part of still Devon. This dark chasm in front of us is the valley of Marsland Water, and when I get onto the far side of it with Andy, we'll have crossed another of the SWCP great landmarks. We're crossing from on this north side, looking across the fence on the slopes going down to the valley of the Marsland Water, across to the wooded slopes on the south side of the valley. It's a east-west trending valley. This is the county boundary. I'm stood on Devon. I'm headed for Cornwall. This is valley number 4, by the way, of the 10. This is the bridge across the Marsland Water, which is babbling away in a very content fashion after yesterday's rainfall. And we're dropping down these few steps, heading towards the confounded bridge. And these are the last few footsteps on the SWCP on North Devon. So, bye-bye North Devon and Somerset, done, and hello, you fantastic county of Cornwall, and all the delights that Cornwall will bring. Parting North Devon thoughts?
Good riddance. Yeah, loved every minute of it. Looking forward to the next stage. I'm sure Cornwall has got some extra delights to offer us.
It's got 6 more bloody valleys to offer.
Great.
Or 5.5.
Looking forward to it.
Well, that's 4 valleys done. 6 to go. That was quite a climb up out of the valley of Marsland Water, and terrific it was too. Bit of a blow, but 4 done. Into Cornwall now, and your first induction process in Cornwall is a pretty fierce ascent up to where I am now, a couple of 100 feet, 300, probably getting close to 400 feet above the sea, which is pounding down below. Actually, it's not that big a surf, but it's a glorious sound. And into Cornwall now, really feel we're in the heart of the toughest walk we're going to face, allegedly, and in the county that for me is the pinnacle of this whole great walk that we're doing. Andy's behind me. It's a personal battle, this. You sort of do your own pace and on you go and get there in the end. So marvellous coastal path walking. Just got to the top of Valley 4, and guess what? Straight into the chasm of Valley 5. So no nice flat interfluve area at the top. Almost like coming over an arete on a glacial mountain. Straight back down in. So this is the halfway number of valleys coming up. Superb. This, which is the 6th valley for us to cross today, is dodgy. It's dodgy at the bottom. Well, they all have their dodgy aspects, that's for sure, but again, typical of today's walk. Very short flat bit and then a steep descent followed by a steep ascent. Marvellous. Well, the more we walk in on this allegedly toughest of all the legs, one very noticeable thing is on the footpath itself. You can sort of see it behind me, down slope and possibly back up behind me. The actual footpath itself is hardly worn. Many parts it's a muddy sort of gully with steps and various things. But this bit here, which I don't think has been rerouted recently, is walking over lovely grass, which is quite easy on the knees, or easier. But it suggests to me that of the various legs on the mighty southwest coast path, this one is not as well trodden, and the people that come here are the nutters like us who want to do the whole thing, and so it's less feet tramping over it, less footpath erosion. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Well, this is the beginning of ascent 6, the 6th valley. So once we've done this, we've done more than half. Inland, which is basically due east to Milestone. That's the sort of village up on the hill, I think, really. And there's a nice, rather lovely church, lovely setting, and presumably the rectum just down below it. And this is the valley, I'm going to call it the Milestone Valley, which more importantly is the 7th of the 10 reputedly we are going to do. And in the immediate distance, and a site of some secrecy, is a GCHQ. That's the satellite receiving, scanning spy station. We're on our 7th valley, and to be honest, I really feel we're doing a great job today. This is, as I've probably mentioned ad nauseum, this is allegedly, reputedly, decisively the hardest of all the 50 or so legs it takes to do the mighty southwest coast path. And this is in all the guidebooks, well, there's 2 of them, it says on there, this is the toughest, it's actually graded severe. How thrilling is that? We're out for a severe walk. On we go. Well, on an absolutely splendid set of zigzags. I don't normally film on the way up these valleys. It's Valley 7. We're climbing up to Vicarage Cliff. That was a gnarly descent down there. Quite steep, very loose and dead straight, so no zigzagging at all. So that's really hard on the knees, the thighs. My toenails took a hell of a bashing, so they'll be nice purple colour later on, I'm sure. But this is bliss. So we're going up quite a steep slope, but really well designed and engineered and fairly recent zigzag path with some nice fissile slaty material. So this is my valley number 8. Unless I've somehow miscounted, which is always possible. State of delirium sets in the further you go. But a lovely lunch actually. Found a nice spot on Vicarage cliff. Sat down, very comfortable, a bit breezy, a bit exposed, but all very lovely. And had a nice salad with some salami in and cheese, nice tomato. Had a biscuit, that was nice. Lots of peanuts. I failed to have sufficient peanuts yesterday, and I really feel that they supercharge you. So I'm feeling really quite chipper. This is the 3rd leglet of today's leg. We've done 7 valleys, we're into the 8th. I've been going on about, we've got 10 to do, if I've counted correctly. Well, the guidebook says 10, and I'm pretty certain with my geographical knowledge that I can recognise a valley. So this is definitely the 8th. And down we go, Andy's ahead of me. Well, Andy's bailed out of this one, although I wasn't walking with him when we got to this point. But this is a lovely walk, bit hairy, not really, yes you're an idiot. This is Higher Sharpnose Point, and a view back is pretty breathtaking. Down on those outcrops below that little headland, you can see people learning how to climb. We've come down that side of this marble valley. That's very typical of what this is all about, to be honest, today. This challenge of going out to a plateau of about 400 to 500 feet, then dropping all the way back down and going up the other side. Tremendous. That, according to my counting, is Valley 8 of the 10 we've got across, so 2 to go. Well, just a bit of a walking update, fans. Walking equipment. And this is the new headgear modelled by my walking muchacho Andy. It is not quite as disgusting as I thought. It's
not far off.
It's got sort of like go faster stripes and a flexible bit at the back for Foreign Legion mimicking. So yeah, it's really quite splendid.
Big brimmed.
It's got a huge brim. It's got three rings on the brim. What more can you say? But this is the beginning of the drop into Valley 9. You can see some folk with a couple of dogs on the far side of the valley, which we've got to climb up shortly. So according to my count of valleys, this is the 9th one today. What a stonking one it looks as well. And we've got the added interest of the satellite dishes. The ones you can see here are mainly facing south. There's one just out on the top of the cliff, which is facing, I guess, eastwards. I wonder if that's aimed at listening into what's happening in Ukraine. But this is where they listen to us, folks. Well, this is GCHQ Bude. Rather sinister looking place with domes and big dishes, and a few yards back an audible hum, which you may pick up again. Every now and again a bang goes off, which is probably a bird scarer. Pretty high security fencing. As far as I can see, not a soul about. I'm almost certainly being filmed, probably listened to. So Johnson out, Tory's gone forever. If you're listening into things, listen into them and expose the corruption at the heart of the most ghastly British government ever, certainly in my lifetime. Well, much of the walking is on a cliff-top footpath, and it's easy to forget just a yard or two from where you are is a fair old drop. So that's a couple of 100 feet down there to a certain death. And you don't muck around with these cliffs. So I shall move on. We've done 9 valleys. I think the 10th and final one is approaching. You can just see it over the fence. One more big valley to do then, walking fans. Andy and me left GCHQ behind, gladly in fact, and worked our way down a tremendous drop into the valley with duck pool at its base and lots of people out enjoying the late afternoon sun. A tremendous day's walking, absolutely thrilled to have cracked the 10 valley walk. Into Bude we strode and felt great. There could only ever be one choice for song of the day, and that's By the Doors, The Spy.